Hi, my name is Jamie with Integration Development, and today we are happy to introduce our new Integrator Tools Experience Bundle. Today we're going to be discussing why we created this bundle and how you can use it in your Control4 projects. I'm going to show you how to set up each one of these drivers in my own personal house. So to tell you a little bit more about Integration Development, not only are we a software developer, we are also a full-fledged installation company here in Denver, Colorado. We've been installing and programming Control4 projects for over 10 years and have developed over 100 different drivers for Control4. The Integrated Tools Experience Bundle is your all-in-one kit and should be the only driver you need to do mostly everything in the Control4 job. We created this bundle with two key goals in mind. First, to enhance the customer experience with Control4 by providing custom icons that display real-time status updates, so users always know what's happening in their smart home. Second, to empower integrators with more efficient tools that significantly reduce the time and effort required to complete an integration. From garages to gates, batteries to remotes, locks to doorbells, this bundle has you covered. And to bring it all together, the Integrator Tools Agent Driver streamlines project notifications and simplifies programming across the board. This is more than just a collection of drivers. It's a complete toolkit for smarter, faster, and more intuitive Control4 installations. So now that we've discussed why we created this bundle, let's go ahead and download the drivers. So you go to the Downloads tab, and then you just click on the Downloads button. Downloads folder, so let's go ahead in there. So if I click on the folder, there will be all the drivers you need to copy and paste into your Control4 driver folder. Now that you have all the drivers loaded into your Control4 project, we're going to go ahead and set up Integrator Tools first. It is actually an agent driver, so you want to make sure you're in the Agents tab, and then you just go ahead and add it here, and then you search for Integrator Tools and you'll find it. Go ahead and add that into your project and it'll look like this. So you'll just go to the Configure section and you'll just configure each one of these step by step. So let's go ahead and start with our email configuration. So here you'll see we have 4 different email groups you can choose from. You have your owner emails, your integrator email, your manager email, if they have a property manager, something like that. A good way to use maybe the other emails is for if you have, let's say, some neighbors you want to send some emails to. If, let's say, your house is an alarm or you have a water leak detected, something like that, you could easily send them emails as well. Okay, you'll see under the owner emails, I have my personal email address, and then in the integrator email, I would recommend putting your service department's email address, but for me, I just have my work email address. Manager, if they have a property manager, and then for example here I did a neighbor. So let's go ahead and set all those, and those are all done. Other customizable things are the default subject line for the homeowner, as well as the default subject line for the integrator. And you can also do the from name, and you could also set a reply to email. So we're going to first show a test email, and I'm going to send one to the owner. So my default subject line was My City Smart Home. So in my email, it says My Lakewood Smart Home. And in the From section, default from names, it says Paris Smart Home. And in my email, it says Paris Smart Home. And then the message is, this is a test alert from my project name. So here you'll see is the test alert message. So now let's go ahead and show a test email to the integrator. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. I'm going to hit set. It sent the email. You'll see here 5 of 5 have been sent today, and I'll show you what that looks like next. So you'll see here the difference on the integrator email is it has your Control4 project and then your project name. So when you have your service department, you can search by project name up here, and you'll be able to find all the emails associated with that project. So now I'm going to show the reply to email feature. So right now you'll see it is nothing. So it's going to send, if the customer tries to reply to the email, it's going to send it to this, which is not a valid email address. So I'll just go ahead and show you that. While I'm in this email, if I hit a reply, it's sending to that email address. That will not work. So now let's go ahead and put a reply to email field in there. All right, I've entered in a reply to email, so let's go ahead and do this test one more time. So I'm going to go ahead and do my owner test email. I sent it. So again, here it says it just sent another owner email. So now I'm going to go to my owner email. Under here now, when I hit reply, there you go. It will go to my work email address. So there is our reply to feature. something that is not available in the Control4 email server. Okay, so now you have your email all set up. We're going to go to the next section, which is your push alerts. This is very simple. You only can change the category, the severity, or the push alert default subject line. It's already set up. If you want to send push alerts, you're set, you're ready to go. So now let's go ahead and talk about our text to voice. So on the text to voice, we have 3 different choices you can choose from. You can create an announcement for your text to voice notifications. You can use your Control4 touchscreens, or you can use a Sonos room. So let's say you wanted to use an announcement. So we're going to go ahead and create an announcement. And then right here it says create new announcement. I'm going to hit set. And then it created this announcement. If I want to change this announcement name, once I click on it, I can do that here. So I'm just going to call this my text to voice announcements. Now that is set, I'm going to go ahead and go to my announcement agent. And you'll see here, there's my text to voice announcement. So now I'm going to go ahead and add in my room. And I'm going to just do my kitchen speakers. And I'm going to set that to 40 volume, and I am done. If I wanted to add in other touchscreens, let's say I wanted to add in my theater touchscreen and my bathroom touchscreen, I could do that here. And I'm going to actually do that for my house. So let's go ahead and set these to 100. All right, so that announcement is set up, ready to go. But for the demo purposes here, I have a Sonos speaker right next to me, so I'm going to go ahead and change this to a Sonos speaker. And I'm going to pick my speaker here in my office. There we go. All right, so now that that is set up, we're going to go ahead and just run a test message. And I'm going to do that here. And
This is a test alert from CIN.
So there is the test alert. If I wanted to change it to, I hope you have a great day, we could do that as well. I'll hit set, and let's go ahead and run this test.
I hope you have a great day.
Okay, let's say you wanted to change it to a male voice. You can go here, just say male, and then you can pick a different voice here. We're going to go ahead and run this one more time.
I hope you have a great day.
So there's the different voices. If you want to see a full list of all the voices, you can click here and it will take you to a full list of all the voices that you can use in this driver. So if you wanted to listen to any of these voices, you could do that before you set it up. There's over 50 languages and over 500 voices. So the way we set it up though for you is it automatically looks at the region you're in and sets it to, I'm in the US, so it sets it to US. You could also, if you wanted to have a British English Great British voice, you could do that. And again, here I'm going to pick female, and I'm going to go ahead and pick this person, and let's try this one more time.
I hope you have a great day.
So there's all the differences you can have in your voice agent. So I'm going to go ahead and change this back to my default that I normally like, and I am done. Okay, so that is the text to voice. Again, like I said, you have multiple announcement types you could set up. And this is your default announcement for all of the pre-built notifications, which I am going to show later. Now let's go ahead and show you the Navigator pop-ups. So again, here you can select different touchscreens you want these to go to. So I'm just going to go ahead and select all my touchscreens, hit OK, hit set. Here is how long you want the message to display for, and if you want the OK button to show up. Okay, I've turned on my camera as well so you can see an image of what the pop-up alert would look like. So there is one with no logo. We have added the ability for you to add in a logo. So I went ahead and I found our logo here. I'm going to go ahead and click on copy image address. And again, on the search field, you want to search for your logo in a 300 by 300 PNG image. You want to copy the image address, and then you want to just go ahead and paste that into here. Make sure it ends in a PNG. You hit set, and let's go ahead and run this test again, and you'll see the pop-up come in with the logo as well. So there is the pop-up alerts and how they work. So those are the 3 different notification types you want to have set up in Integrator Tools before you continue. So we're done with that. And now we're going to set up our service notifications. When we built this driver on the, like I said, for the email, we have a integrator email for you. We built this driver with that in mind to send your service department certain hardware and system notifications. What we built in this was a project loaded, project updated, driver added, driver removed, composer logged in, composer logged out, lighting hardware issues, and climate hardware issues. So to give you a couple of the items that we think are very important would be driver updated. So you can, once you get there, here is where the easiness of this whole package works together. So what this notification will be is driver, let's just say Sonos has been updated to version 3.0. You can send your customer a push alert by just hitting yes. You can send the owner an email by just hitting yes. I want to send my service department that email, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And if you wanted to send the property manager, neighbors, or do a voice alert or navigator pop-up, this is where you would do it. So I'm going to just do this as a test. So we're going to go ahead and it's going to say this message. It's going to just say file and driver version because it doesn't know which one has been done. But we're going to go ahead and trigger this notification and let's listen out for it.
Driver has been updated to version 2.0250422.
So that was the voice alert you just heard, and here is the email. So you'll see how they work together. It does it that quickly. Okay, so that's for pretty much your project loaded. Again, there you just make the same selections as you did before, and it will say your project name has been loaded. So that's good to know if like your project's rebooting a lot, things like of those natures. Composer login is a big one. This is something that's not really available in any other driver. So what you can do here is you can let the customer know if anybody has remotely or locally logged into their system via a push alert or whatever. You can also track this for your service department. Let's say a competitor has just recently logged into one of your client's projects. That would be good information to know and to be a good follow-up to your client. Here you're able to whitelist. So if I wanted to whitelist a certain person from getting if I don't want them to be notified when I log in, I could do that here. I could just do that and hit set. If I don't want anybody from my company to the customer to be notified by anybody in my company, I can just do @cindev.com, and now that is done. This works for both the composer log in and the composer logged out. And then finally, we also have lighting hardware issues and climate hardware issues. So let's go ahead and look at the lighting hardware issues first. As soon as you hit set, it automatically will look at all your lighting hardware in your project and load it in here. And then it will say issue detected, entry chandelier, and then the issue. The issues we track for are the following. As long as the light has this variable, overrated wattage, over temperature, and short circuit detected, you will get notified if any of these items trigger. Again, here you can say I want to send the integrator an email and I want to send the owner an email. And then they can reply to that email if they want to get the service done. So that's all the lighting hardware issues. Now let's go ahead and look at the climate hardware issues. This is just going to track hardware faults, so you'll get notified if there is a hardware fault. And there's a couple different things it checks for. And it will notify, again, your service department or the client. So we're just going to say do those in emails. No need really for voice alert or anything like that. So that's all of the system and hardware notifications we track for. Again, these are all pre-built. You're just answering yes or no to how you want to notify, and they are done. This could potentially be a revenue stream for your service department, depending on how you use it and how good you are at monitoring it and things of those nature. So now let's go ahead and get into the actual drivers. So at my house, I actually have 2 garage doors, but I'm going to set up a garage and I'm going to set up a gate just so we could show it. I'm also going to set up my front door lock and a doorbell. And then I do have a rack room with a PDU, so I'm going to set up a couple power drivers as well. And I do have 14 water leak detection sensors in my house, so I'm going to go ahead and set that up. And then I'm also going to set up the battery detection and the remote detection plus driver as well. So to find those, you would just go to the search tab. You could just go here and say, I want to look at experience buttons. And then here are all of our drivers. So the first one we're going to do today is the Garage Integration Plus. At Cintegration, we like to create a customer dashboard. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to set that one up. All right, now that I'm back, you'll see in the driver, it says go ahead and connect a relay to continue. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, now that I'm in my connections, I'm going to go ahead and put in a contact sensor here. And then let me go ahead and do the relay connection as well. So we're going to go ahead and do that. All right, now that driver is ready and ready to use. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and refresh navigators. And I'm going to get this icon into my GUI. You'll also want to set up your icons. We do have 6 different icons you can choose from. We have a light garage door, a dark garage door, a classic door, a contemporary garage door, 1, 2, and 3. So you can choose any different ones of those. If I don't go over something in this video, we do have a full documentation. You can go to the documentation section, click here, and then there will be a step-by-step guide on how to set up every one of these drivers. Just wanted to make you aware of that, so let's go ahead and go back. Okay, that'll automatically load the icon into the security section. So let's go ahead and favorite that to the room. Okay, now that that's favored to the room, you can see it there. If you do have multiple relays, you can adjust those here. You can also adjust the contacts here if you would like. We do have integration control. So if you wanted to, let's say that you have an Airbnb and you want to disable this button from working, you can do that by disabling it here or in programming. The next thing you'll want to do when you're setting up the driver is actually time how long it takes to open from a closed position, and then also on the way back from an open to a closed position. My house takes roughly around 16 seconds, so I'm just going to make these at 17. You want to give yourself a couple second buffer because that does run on a timer. Here is your left open time. This will be the left open time before you get a notification. For this demo, we're going to go ahead and set it to 1 minute so I can show you the notification. And then here you can also repeat the notification. So at my house, I want to do it a total of 3 times. So this is the first time, this would be the second, this would be the third. So this is 2 more times I want to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. We also added in a feature to be able to have a light flash before you close the garage door. So let's say you wanted to do that. You can just pick a light. And then once I hit set, it'll ask how long do I want to run that light flash for. So let's say I want to do it for 5 seconds. I would do that to there. Let's just say 6 is fine. Set. Now, once I hit this button, those lights would flash 6 seconds before it closes. This is a safety feature, so like let's say you're doing this remotely, people know that the garage is about to close. I don't do that at my house, so I'm going to go ahead and clear this. I don't want that, so I'm going to get rid of it, but that's how you would do it. A couple other cool features is the following. So you can look at your view, your driver history, which will show that later once we actually do some testing. If you wanted to enable a keypad button link to this, you would just go ahead and click this, and once you hit set, it'll go ahead and load a keypad button link and configuration down here. And then in connections for that driver, you'll see now there is a keypad button link and you can assign it there. One other feature we enabled in this driver is being able to show the icon on specific rooms. Again, this driver's icon will load into the security section of the room you put it in. But let's say I put this garage door in my actual garage room and I wanted to show the icon in the main level dashboard. I could just go here, say set, and then I could go ahead and put that on my main level dashboard, hit set, and then it will load it in. You would just have to hit refresh navigators again, you're done. So your garage integration is all set up, so we are complete with that one. I'll show you the notifications and the testing later. So now we want to add in a gate. This will be my side garage door, but we're just going to go ahead and call this the side gate for now for the demo. Okay, now that the name is changed, let's go ahead and make our connections. Again, here it says not set up, connect relay to continue. So we're going to go ahead and go to the side gate here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and make my gate with the other connections here, and I'm going to go to relay. Oops, excuse me. Go to my relay over here. Now it is all done. I am going to go ahead and refresh navigators and get this one in there as well. Again, on this one, you will have a lot of different gate options. So I'll go ahead and show you that while that's loading. Here's all your gate icons you can choose from. Again, don't forget about the documentation page if you need help setting up the driver. There's documentation on every one of these drivers. So that's go ahead and set up, and let me go ahead and put the gate in. So let's go ahead and favorite this to the room. Now that is done, and now we have our gate icon as well. So let's go ahead and I'll just show you how quickly it can change. So there is a sliding gate, there is a modern gate, and so forth. So there's all your different choices. So we're just going to go ahead and do modern gate left opening. And again here, I run about 17 seconds on my garage door, so I'm going to do that. And I'm going to set the left open timer on this one, 10 minutes. Okay, and I'm going to go and repeat it twice. I'm done. So that driver's all set up, ready to use as well. That's how easy they are to set up. All right, gate is all set up, and now let's go ahead and do the front door lock. So let's go ahead and just put that into the room. I'm going to go ahead and call this one the front door. So let me change that name here after it loads, front door. Okay, on this driver, you have to connect a relay to continue. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I'm going to connect my relay to the Yale door lock relay. And now if you just want to use this for a door lock status, you can do that, but we also enable you to connect it to a door position sensor. So I'm going to go ahead and connect that to my front door. And now that's done. So you'll see it's set, ready to use. So let's go ahead and refresh navigators again here. And I will show you the icons in this driver. So let me go back to the lock integration. And here are all the different door icons you have. You have your classic door 1 and 2. You have your modern door 1 and 2, and you have like a kind of commercial door. Here shows all the different states of the door, and there you go. Let's go ahead and put the front door into our driver as well. So let's go ahead and add that to our favorite. Okay. All right. Now that that's added, let me go back to the system design. I'll show you some of the other features again here. So you do have, on all of our drivers, you do have the integration control. We have an auto lock timer. So if you want this to auto lock itself after you leave, you can just set that timer here. So let's say I want to auto lock the door in 10 seconds after I leave. For the demo, I'm just going to do it at like 2 seconds. So when I show this off, you'll see it relock itself in 2 seconds. You could also wait until the door is in the closed position before you send the lock command. So we're going to go and do that because I have a deadbolt. I don't want my deadbolt slamming into any of my door frames. And just like our garage door drivers, we do have the left open timer. So for my front door, I want to be notified if it's been left open for a minute. And again here, I want 2 notifications until it's done. All right, now your door and lock integration driver is all set up, so that one is done. Now let's go ahead and do the doorbell integration. So this is another really cool driver we came out with. You can use this to trigger doorbells, or you can use it as a sound launcher as well. And that's pretty much what our sound effects driver is going to be. It's strictly going to be a pretty much button to fire off different sounds. So the first thing you'll want to do here is set up your default sound. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick this simple doorbell to start. And once you do that, it's going to ask you how you want your sound. Again, here you can create an announcement. So if I created an announcement, I'll just keep this one as the default. I would have to go back into my announcement. So it created a doorbell announcement. So if I go to my announcement agent here, I will see the doorbell announcement. There it is. So now you can add in your speakers there. But again here for the demo, I'm going to make it a Sonos speaker. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to my Sonos. And I'm going to pick my Sonos speaker. I am done with that. I'm going to lower the volume down to 50 for this demo. And that's all set. Another cool thing we've added in is being able to have it go to a touchscreen. So I'm going to have this go to my touchscreen. And I'm going to have it show my front door camera. Set. And then how long do you want that to display for? So we're going to go ahead and show that off as well. But first we need to refresh navigators one more time. And while it's doing that, I will show you all the different doorbell icons we have for this driver. So when you go here, you have the classic, the modern, the fancy, the steampunk, and the video doorbell. Okay, now that navigators are refreshed, I'm going to go ahead and put this doorbell into my room. Okay, that is all done. You see it's still not set up completely because I have to connect a doorbell sensor to do that. So let's go ahead and make our doorbell connection. Okay, so you have your doorbell contact sensor. So I'm going to connect it to my doorbell camera ring right there. Now that that's done, it is connected. So you'll see here it's a classic doorbell style. I'm going to go ahead and change mine to the video doorbell style because it's a video doorbell. Now that's done. If you wanted to tap it, it would mute the doorbell. So if I try to trigger this doorbell sound, it's not going to do anything. It's just won't play. So if I unmute it, and then I go ahead and trigger the doorbell sound, we should hear the doorbell sound. Okay. So I'm going to change this for the demo to trigger the doorbell though, so we can show off different doorbell sounds. So in the doorbell driver, we have 10 different sounds to choose from. So let's say you want to have a Christmas doorbell sound. You could do that.
Merry Christmas.
Now it's Halloween time. Let's say you want to have a Halloween doorbell sound. You can do that. And now you'll see the video as well of the touchscreen. So when I hit this, it will change the live video feed to my doorbell camera as well. So let's go ahead and do that. And there's the live video feed. So how you could use this if you didn't want to use it as a doorbell, but you wanted to actually just use it as a button to fire off sounds, you can just change this binding to Control4 programming, and then you literally can just have this button trigger off any sounds you connect to it. So that's how you would use this Doorbell Integration Plus driver. Again, if you have any questions on how to set it up, there is the documentation page on those. So now let's go ahead and set up my rack room. I've went ahead and loaded in 2 AV source drivers, and I added in 1 generic driver. I'm going to go ahead and add in 1 more. How you can use these buttons is you could either use them to turn on, off, toggle, or cycle a PDU. You could also use them for Control4 programming as well. So, and you could also group them into multiple items as well. So let's go ahead and do our first one. I'm going to change this to my Apple TV. I'm going to hit set. I want it to toggle the power. I'm going to hit set. And let's go ahead and make the connection. All right, now that we're in connections, I'm going to go ahead and connect this one. Since it's my Apple TV, I'm going to connect it to my outlet number 4, which is my Apple TV. And now when I go back to the driver, you'll see it's done. And this icon is the Apple TV icon. The next one I'm going to do is I'm going to make this an AV rack. And in the relay connection, I'm going to change this to a group connection. So I can actually do my whole AV rack. So let's go ahead and go into the connections now for this one. Okay, now that I'm in the connections for the AV rack, I'm going to connect this to outlet 1. And since it's set up as a group, you'll see it's going to add in another relay. So I'm going to connect this to outlet 2. And then I'm going to do one more to outlet 5 here. So that, or outlet 6. So now that's all done as well. So once I go back here, you'll see my AV rack is an AV rack icon. Next one we're going to do is just an outlet here. Instead of this being a relay connection, I'm going to change this to just Control4 programming. When I click on the icon, it's showing it's offline. If I click it again, there's the power outlet. And then finally, we're going to do a camera group. So I'm going to do a camera group. There's the camera. I'm going to make this a group. And we'll make those connections as well. So in these ones, I'm just going to connect it 7 through 9. This will also connect to PoE switches if the PoE ports are labeled as relays. One of our drivers we're getting ready to develop will have that functionality, so you could be able to reboot cameras as well. So that one's all set as well. So here you'll see the camera icon. You could use this to reboot or turn off your cameras. So now that that's done, let's go ahead and refresh navigators and we will get these icons into this room. Let me go ahead and show you the power integration icons. You have your generic icons. We have 10 different AV sources. We have 8 different network icons. We have 10 different appliance icons. And we have 5 different energy icons. So lots of different icons to choose from. Now that that's done, let's go ahead and favorite these into the room. And our rack room will be done. Let me go ahead and finish this and we'll be right back. All right, now that all the icons are loaded into the GUI, you can just have a rack room for your clients or your service department to just be able to reboot devices as you need. A good thing with this is you can reboot the whole rack. Here is your cycle time if you wanted to do that. Let me go to the actual AV rack. If you wanted to change the cycle time to 10 seconds or whatever per device, it would do that. Here is a list of all the PDUs it works with. Let me pull that up. So make sure you look at the compatibility hardware when deciding on your PDU and which one you wanted to use to work with your project. All right, now that we're done with the Power Integration Plus driver, let's go ahead and install a Leak Detection Plus driver. I'm going to go ahead and do that into my main level dashboard. All you have to do for this driver is make your connections for it. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, in connections, we're going to go ahead and start making our connections to the water sensors. And as I add one, it'll be just like the group driver in the Power Integration Plus drivers. So we're going to just go ahead and keep making all these connections. When I'm done, I will be right back. Okay, now that I have all my water sensors connected, you'll see that I still have an open spot, but I don't have any more water sensors to connect, so I am done setting it up. So back in the Leak Detection Plus driver, you have all of your sensors listed here. So let's say for some reason you want to change the name of one. You could do that here. You could change the name and it will change its name. If you need to change if it's normally open or closed, you can do that here as well. With this driver, as soon as any of these sensors connected detect a leak, you will get a notification. If you want to repeat the notification, you would set you would set your minute timer here. And I'll just set this to 1. This will repeat the warning every minute, and then how often do I want to repeat it? I'm going to go ahead and do mine 5 times. So I'd get a total of 6 notifications that I have a leak detected. So that's your Leak Detection Plus driver. It's set up, ready to go. Let's go ahead and put that into our dashboard as well. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh navigators. And again, here on that driver, you'll see the different icons here. You have a faucet, and then you also have just a water droplet. So those are your options for the Leak Detection Plus driver. And while it's loading, so that's pretty much basically everything there. And we're going to do here, and I'm going to go ahead and favorite this to the room. Here we go. And again here, if I wanted to change the icon, I will show you how quickly that changes. So I can go here. I want it to be a water droplet. I'm done. So that driver is complete. Now let's go ahead and do the Battery Detection Plus driver. So this one will just scan and check all of your batteries in your project. So as I load this in, you're going to see that it will automatically grab all my battery devices. So you'll see here it's grabbed all these battery devices already. It's grabbed all of these in my project, so I don't have to do anything there. Here you'll set your time of day you want the batteries to check in. So morning, afternoon, or night. So this is a one-time scan during this time period that it will scan all the devices and then let you know when they are in alert. The next thing you want to do is decide on how many readings before you get the notification. So does it need to be under these thresholds 2 days in a row, 3 days in a row, 4 days in a row, etc. So you make those decisions there. Here you can set the different thresholds for the battery levels, voltage levels, or string devices. But we really don't recommend doing any of those items, changing any of them anyway. So let's go ahead and refresh navigators and get this driver into the project. And let me go ahead and show you the Battery Detection Plus. Here are the different icon states you have. You have the style A, style B, and style C. Here's all the devices it looks at and checks the battery levels. So there's quite a bit of devices there. And then we also have a nice web UI with it as well. So you can see here, you'll have a web UI showing you different levels of those devices. All right, now that it's loaded in, let's go ahead and favorite this to the room as well. Okay, now let me go ahead and arrange these a little bit here. So I'm going to move this one. I'm going to move this one up to there. Now it's done. I'm going to go ahead and change it to this different style I like. There you go. If you hit this, you will see the, it should pull up all your battery levels. So here you'll see all the different battery levels in my house. You'll see my freezer temp sensor is at 0, so I'll have to check on that. But there's how it looks on the web UI. All right, that is the Battery Detection Plus driver. The final driver we have is our Remote Detection Plus. So you'll see here in my family room, I have a SR260 remote. So let's go ahead and just add in a Remote Detection Plus driver into the family room. It'll automatically bind to that remote. It's already bound to the family room remote here. It's set the icon to the SR260. Let me go ahead and refresh my navigators, and this one will be in your watch menu of that room. So once this loads, we'll go ahead and look at the family room and the watch menu. All right, let me go to my family room here. There's my family room. We've refreshed navigators. Once I hit watch, there is my icon for Find My Remote. You hit it, it will send a beep command to that remote and let you know where it's at. So that's pretty much what the Remote Detection Plus driver is, and that one's all set up, ready to use. So now that all of our drivers are completely set up and we got our customer's dashboard looking pretty, now's the time we want to send notifications to the customer. Now you could buy all these drivers individually and go to programming, and let's say you wanted to do your garage door left open, you could trigger it off of this event, and then you could go into, let's say the push notification agent, create a new push, send a, garage doors left open. You could also go to the email notification, hit add, create your own email for the garage door left open, or you could go to the announcement agent and create your own garage door has been left open, text to voice. You could also do a navigator pop-up here, but this is where the magic happens of Integrator tools. So let's say this customer wants to get notifications for the garage door when it's been, for this demo, we're just going to do when it's been open, left open, and failed to close. Okay, so I've just go down to my Garage Integration Plus driver here. Once I have this selected, you'll see here are the 5 pre-built notifications we have in our Integrator tools. So the garage door left open, I can just select that. It will say, attention, main garage door has been left open for more than 1 minute in my case, because that's what I set it for. You could also tie in a camera snapshot. So I'm going to go ahead and tie in my main camera as a snapshot. I'm going to say, yes, I want to send a push alert. Yes, I want to email the owner, and yes, I want to do a voice alert. I want to do all 3 of those. You're done. That's how quickly you can fire off these notifications. Now I'm going to go ahead and set up the door has failed to close notification. So I'm going to pick the same camera here, and then I'm going to say I just want a push alert and a voice alert, and also email the owner. Set. Done with that. And for the demo here, I'm just also going to do open so we can show off a push alert just for that one. And I'll also tie in the camera snapshot for that as well. So now we can go ahead, now that they're all set up, we can go ahead and start testing to make sure that these work. Now that all of the notifications are set up, let's go ahead and run a test on this. So again here, for when it's opened, we have the push alert should come through as well as the voice alert. So let's go ahead and run that. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my garage door by the press of this button, and you'll see it's opening. Now I'll show you my garage door camera. There's my garage door opening. And as it runs through it, you'll soon see once it's fully opened, we'll get our notifications of those opening. So let's go ahead and wait a second, and I'll show you that here. So opened.
Garage door has opened.
So there's our voice notification, and there is our push notifications with the snapshot. So that's how that part works. And now we're going to go ahead and wait the minute and see if this gives us the left open for 1 minute notification. While we're doing that, let's just go ahead and open up my side garage, and you'll just so you can see the garage or the gate icons running as well, just so you can see them in tandem. And you'll see over there in the picture, you can see my side garage opening. We called it the side gate in this demo just to show that. So that's fully open. So you can see that now shows it's fully open. We're just waiting the minute here. There's the icon.
Attention. Garage door has been left open for more than 1 minute.
Okay, so there is your notification on that as well. And let's go ahead and see that one. Right there, garage door has been left open for more than 1 minute here as well. So that is the Garage Integration Plus driver and how the notifications work with the driver. Let's go ahead and close both of these doors, and then we'll show off the front door next. I'm actually glad this happened during my demo here. The side garage failed to close because there's sun reflecting on the laser, so it actually showed it didn't close. And I can show you that real quick in the Integrator tools. You'll see actually just on the garage. So I'll go to the garage, the side gate, and let's go ahead and just look at the view driver history. We'll show that here. So let's go ahead and look at the Lua. And you right here, you'll say failed to close because of the lighting issue there. So this gives you information and history of each driver. And you'll see this garage door, if we run the same thing, do driver history, it will show you all the driver history of this driver as well. So let's go ahead and look at that. As of today, you'll see those has had the left open, critical. So there's all the different things you can see in the driver. Now let's go ahead and do our Lock Integration Plus notifications that we want to send to our customer. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to select it here. So Lock Integration Plus, hit set. And now you'll see I have door unlocked by user, door hardware fault, door left open, door locked, door unlocked, door open, door closed. So I'm going to set up a door unlocked by user, and I'm also going to set up a door left open. So let's go ahead and do the voice alert and the push alert for those. I'm not going to do a camera snapshot on this, but I'll go ahead and run this test in a second, and let's go ahead and do the door left open as well. So here I was just going to set myself a push, I'm going to email, and I'm going to do a voice alert. So I have all those set, and that one is ready to use as well. For the demo here, I am only going to show the statuses of this door opening. I'm going to unlock it with the user so you can hear the voice notification, and then I will show you the push notifications when I get back. So just as you're watching this, you'll be able to see it unlock, open, close, relock, and then I'm going to use a code to unlock it and go from there. So you'll see all those statuses happen on this door while I'm gone.
Front door unlocked by Jamie Paris.
And here's the push notification. Right there, door unlocked by Jamie Paris. So that is the Lock Integration Plus driver. Now let's go ahead and discuss the Doorbell Integration Plus driver. For the Doorbell Integration Plus driver, again here, you can pick your different sounds. So I'm going to go ahead and set this back to the simple doorbell sound. So that'll be our normal. Well, my customer wants to have 4 different sounds they can choose from. So to do that, I'm going to go to Agents. I'm going to go to Custom Buttons. And then I'm going to go All Rooms. And I'm just going to use this menu too. And I'll just call this Doorbell Sounds. And then I'm going to call this one Normal or Normal Doorbell, Christmas Doorbell, and then Halloween Doorbell, and we're gonna say the last one will say Grand Doorbell. Okay, now that those are set up, let's go ahead and go to programming and we'll get those set up, and I'll show you how to do that. All right, now we're in programming under the Custom Buttons agent. So I'm going to go to All Doorbell Sounds, and I'm going to say when this one is pressed, we're going to go to our doorbell driver here, and we're going to say set the doorbell sound to our normal sound. So we'll have that be this one. So that's for that. on the Christmas doorbell, we're going to go ahead and change it to the Christmas sound. And I'm going to pick just Christmas 1. So that's set. Halloween, we're going to do the same thing over and over again here. So Halloween, I'm just going to pick this one. That's done. And then the grand one, we're going to just go ahead and pick the next one here called grand. Okay, so now they have 4 custom doorbell sounds they can choose from. Let's go ahead and test it out. But first we have to refresh navigators to get those custom buttons in. So let's go ahead and do that. And while we're waiting, I'll be right back. All right, now that our doorbell sounds are loaded in, let's go ahead and have some fun with this driver. So we'll go back to our Integrator tools and we're going to say driver notifications. We've included under the Doorbell Integration Plus, you can have when the doorbell is pressed, muted, or sound has changed. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm just going to make this a voice alert so you can hear it as we change these doorbell sounds, and then we'll play the doorbell sound to make sure everything is working. So the first, how we'll do that is, now that the custom buttons are loaded in, right now it is on our normal doorbell. You'll hear that there. Okay, now let's go ahead and change it to the Christmas doorbell. Done.
Attention. Doorbell audio has been changed to Doorbell Christmas 1.
Okay, you'll hear the voice announcement, and now let's go ahead and play the doorbell and make sure that it works. So let's go ahead and fire that.
Merry Christmas.
And you'll see it fired off that sound as well. And let's just try one more time. We'll go ahead and go to the Halloween noise. Halloween doorbell, done.
Attention. Doorbell audio has been changed to Doorbell Halloween 1.
Okay, and you'll see there it has changed. And let's go ahead and fire that one. Okay, that's the doorbell. Let's go ahead and change it back to our normal. And that's how you could set up different doorbell sounds for your customer.
Attention. Doorbell audio has been changed to Doorbell Simple.
Okay, so let's go ahead and just get rid of that. I don't want that normally. I just wanted to show that for demo purposes, but that's what you could do to let them know when they've changed a doorbell sound. You could send them an email or whatever. So that's the Doorbell Integration Plus driver. Now let's go ahead on to the next one. Now for the Power Integration Plus drivers, again here you'll see we have 4 different drivers. We have the Apple TV, AV rack, camera, and power outlet. So you'll see in Integrator tools, you'll see all those different power ones. So you see power AV source, AV rack, Apple TV, camera, so forth. Let's say the only one we want to give them notifications on is the AV rack when it's been cycled. So we're going to go ahead and pick when the cycled power. And we'll do that, and we'll send them an email and send them a push, and might as well just do a voice alert as well. I am not going to do that, but I'll just show you the test notification so you could see that happening. So here is the trigger, and we'll listen for it here.
A V-Rack has cycled power.
So there is your voice notification. Here you'll see the push notification right there. And then let's go ahead and look for the email notification. So you'll see here in the email, AV rack has cycled power. So that's how this all works together. And now let's go ahead and start on the Detection Plus drivers. Okay, for the Battery Detection Plus driver, let's say we want to just get notified anytime there is a low battery. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll say Battery Notifications, Battery Detection Plus, low battery. We want to go ahead and get this alert anytime there's low battery. So I'm just going to go ahead and send myself a push, an email, and a voice alert. So let's go ahead and do that. And to test this, we'll go back to the driver. We've added in some cool features here. So I will show, let's pull up our batteries first and see what, if any of them are getting low. So we have 83%, 77%. Everything else is above 80 right now. Let's see if I have anything else. All right, theater remotes at 46%. So right now you'll see up here that the last check-in, there's 22 total devices, 0 were in warning, 0 were in alert. But let's go ahead and move this to 50%. So now anything under 50% will trigger the notification. So to test this, I'm going to go into my driver actions and I'm going to say scan devices. So again, here you'll see I have it 2 scans need to happen before I get alerted. So we're going to run the first scan here first. You see it puts the 1 in warning, and there you go. The theater is in warning. Now let's go ahead and do one more scan. There we go. And now we'll get the alert.
Attention! Potential low battery found from Theater State Route 260 remote.
So there's that, and there is the push notification. We also got the email notification. Let me show you that as well. And here is the notification in the email. So you can see that again, we got all three within seconds of that happening. So that's how the Battery Detection Plus driver works. All right, with the Water Detection Plus driver, you'll see here, when we made all of our connections, we just connected all of our water sensors to it. So you can see I have 14 different water sensors. So we're gonna want an alert anytime one of those water sensors detect a leak. So we're gonna go to our Leak Detection Plus driver, and then I'm gonna say I want on leak detected, I wanna get a push, an email, and a voice alert. And I could also set, like this would be a good one to send to your other email, which we set up as our neighbors. Or if you have a property manager, you can just easily do that here. So that's how you can trigger multiple notifications to multiple people very simply through this tool. So I'm going to go ahead and get set up a water sensor to put in some water so we can test this alert out. So bear with me. All right, to test this, we're going to go ahead and put our water sensor in some water and see what happens here. So it's showing it's leaking. Now it's showing it leaking here.
Possible water leak detected from office sump pump.
So there you go. There's our water leaks, and we'll show you the notifications after I get this turned off. Okay, it should start going to normal. There, it's normal. It should stop beeping here. There it goes. All right, so it stopped beeping. You can see our water sensor went back to normal, and then it triggered the notifications. Let's go ahead and look at there's our notification. It says possible water leak detected from office sump pump. Let me go ahead and show you the email as well. You'll see here at the bottom, attention, possible water leak detected from the office sump pump. So that's how the Leak Detection Plus driver works with all the notifications. All right, we've set up every driver notification we wanted, and we tested those notifications. But now let's say there are notifications we didn't think of, or there's other drivers out there you want to send notifications on. So let me go ahead and show you how you would do that. So let's say I want to do when my doorbell camera detects a package, I want to send a push notification that a package has arrived at my front door. So I'm going to go ahead and go down to our Integrator tools. And here I can set a custom alert template where I could type in my own message and I could send multiple different alerts. If I just wanted to do a push alert, I could just do that. But for this case, I actually want to do a voice and I want to do a push alert. So I would just type in here, a package has arrived at your front door. Okay, I could tie in a camera snapshot, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to put in my package camera feed on that. I'm going to send a push alert, I'm going to send an email, and I'm going to send a voice. So let's go ahead and do that, and then I can just put that here, so anytime this happens, it will send that alert. Since I don't have a package arriving right now, let's just go ahead and execute this command and look out for the notifications.
A package has arrived at your front door.
So there was the voice notification. Let's go ahead and check in on the email. So there's the email with the snapshot that a package has arrived at your front door. If you have a package there, it actually show at your camera. So that's how you could use integrated tools to do other items besides what we've already pre-built for you. Now let's say your customer wants you to create a special notification programming when their house is in alarm. So you'd first go to when your home security, when it's in alarm. Let's say they wanted to get an email with all the snapshots from all the cameras in the house. So we could easily do that with our integrator tools. So let's go ahead and do that. The first thing you'll do is enter in the message. I'm just going to say Paris home is in alarm. Okay. And then I want to have it send a picture from all my cameras. Let's go ahead and do that. And this is only available in our email server, being able to send multiple snapshots of all your cameras. So we'd want to send one to the owner. And let's say you wanted to send one to the neighbor, you could do that as well. So let's go ahead and add them in. And let's go ahead and put that in. You're done with that step. Now let's say they also wanted to include some flashlights in their house. So let's go ahead and do that. So I would make sure this is on start, and then I'm just going to pick a few different random lights. So I'm going to pick my kitchen cans, my dining room cans, and my sitting room cans. So you can see all those. I'm going to have them flash every 2 seconds. So let's go ahead and put that at 2 seconds. And I'm going to have my runtime be 10 minutes. So we'll do that. The next thing they also wanted was to have a voice notification going off in their house when their system is in alarm. So I'd go here on the action side to the security, grab a loop, and then say when it's in alarm. Now that's done, I'm going to go ahead and put in a voice notification. So here I'm going to go to send custom alert, and I'm going to say voice alert. Now let's type in an announcement that we want to have it say. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. I typed attention, intruder detected in the Paris residence. Now I could just have this go as my default speaker, but let's say they wanted a special announcement to be triggered on their outdoor speakers as well as their indoor speakers. So the way you could do that is back in Integrator Tools, we'll go to our text to voice, and I have my standard announcement here, but if I wanted to create a new one, I could do that. I could just go to, once it's selected announcement agent, I hit create new announcement. So let's go ahead and do that. And now you'll see a new announcement has been created. So I'm going to pick this one. You can keep it the same name or you can name it whatever you want. So I'm going to just call this one house is in alarm. Okay. Now once I hit set, this will show up in the announcement agent. So let's go ahead and go to the announcement agent. Let's grab this one. Let's just, for the demo purposes, let's just grab a couple rooms. We'll say the kitchen, upper patio, and lower patio. So that way it gets announced on indoor and outdoor speakers so maybe neighbors could hear and things like that to help you out with your situation. So let's go ahead and just put all these to 55. That is done. Now back in programming, you probably have to click off and click on since we added something new. But once I select this voice alert again, none of the stuff, all the message will still be there. I could go down here and I could select my house as an alarm announcement. Then I could add it in here. But for this demo purposes, we're just going to keep this as the default. So I don't need to make any changes here. I just want to make sure my default is on the Sonos speaker that's in my office. Let's go ahead and change that. I'm going to make this the Sonos speaker. Okay, it's done. So now we should be able to hear the alert when I fire this off. So let's go ahead and put this in our programming. Let's go ahead and put it in our loop. We're going to delay it 10 seconds so it repeats every 10 seconds. And then to turn off these flashlights, let's say, so once the security is disarmed, you wanted to stop this. This will stop automatically because the house is no longer an alarm. You're just sending an email out, and now we want to have the flashlight stop. We did put in a 10-minute timer, but if you want them off once they disarm, you can just go to when the house is disarmed, go back to your flashlights, and you just hit your stop. You don't need to worry about the rest of this here. Just the main thing you want to know is the stop command. So you can just say when it's stopped, it'll stop flashing the lights. So now that this is all set up, let's go ahead and check this out. Okay, before we run our test, again, we're going to send an email that the Paris house is an alarm. We're going to flash 3 different lights, and we're also going to have a voice announcement say, attention, intruder detected in the Paris residence. Now this will not work because my security system will not actually be an alarm, and I don't want to do that for the demo. So what I did is I created the same programming with our Power Integration Plus. I just created a generic button that I'm using for Control 4 programming. I'm saying when it's turned on, I'm doing the exact same thing. And when it's turned off, we're going to stop the flashing lights. So let's go ahead and run this test. So I'm going to double click this button. The house is off, so no lights are flashing. Let's see what happens when I turn it on.
Attention! Intruder detected in the Paris residence.
So you'll see the lights are flashing. The voice announcement went. I should also have gotten an email. Here's my email that says Paris home is in alarm.
Intruder detected in the Paris residence.
So there's what you could do with the Integrator Tools Experience Bundle. So let me go ahead and go back and turn this off, and it should shut off. It's off. You see the lights stop flashing. Everything worked as intended. We are done. So that section is now complete. So our Integrator Tools also has room off functionality. So let's say I have a main level off, right? I want to just do a main level off. So I'd go here to room off. So turn off rooms. I could pick all the rooms in my main level right there. Done. And then I could say turn off all the AV, turn off the lights, and close the shades. You're done. That's how easy we've made it. Now let's do the basement. So basement, we can go back here, say okay, clear all these. I'll select, unselect, do my basement. There we go. Same thing. Done. So that's how easy our room off macros are. Now I'm going to show you how to override any notifications you've built into Integrator tools. So let's just say we have a party mode or a dinner mode, something like that. So they can say if party mode is selected, and then I also want to go ahead and I want to override any notifications. So I can say for 4 hours, I don't want any voice alerts. So I can disable my voice alerts. If you don't want emails or pushes or something like that, you could do those too. So I'm just going to say that. And then once, so as long as party mode is selected and running, it'll play the station, and then it will also go ahead and disable all notifications for that. And then after 4 hours, all your notifications will come back on. So that's how you can silence certain notifications you've built into the program. Finally, the last thing your customer wants you to do is turn off their LED lights at night. They don't want any of the backlights to be on or the status lights to be on. So just to show you an example of this, I have my basement bath light. The backlight is this color, the top on value is that color, the bottom off value is this color. So let's go ahead and take this light and we're going to go ahead and just make those all black for at night. So I would go to LED backlight color. So I'm just going to go down to my basement bath light, this one. I'm going to say okay, I'm going to set that one to black. I'm going to set this the same device. So let me go down here, bathroom light. There's that one. I'm going to set the bottom off value to black, and I'm going to set the top on value to black. Okay, now when I execute this command, it will make all those black. So let's go ahead and do that. And once we go back to our system design, I'll click off and click back on. And you'll see they're all black. So on value is black, backlight's black, bottom off color is black. So now let's go ahead and change them back. So we'll say back at sunrise, or that was the lights off. I messed this up, but let's just reverse this now. So now I want to make this the on color. So top on LED value is this color. The bottom off value is this color. And then go back to my backlights. Same light is still selected, so I'm just going to change the color, hit OK, and run this. And now I'm going to run the same thing, hit execute, and it should change those all back. So let's go ahead and go back to system design. We'll click off, click back on. Bathroom lights are all changed back. So that's how you could do LED programming very easily with our integrator tools. And again, you can just select multiple lights at the same time and it'll do all of them at the same time. So that wraps up pretty much all the different features. We also do have randomized lighting in here as well. You could also do keypad LEDs. And again, you can just send any type of notification you want very quickly and customizable through this integrator tools. Again, you just type in your message and you're done. You double click, you're done. You can add a snapshot to any of them. That's how easy our integrator tools is. We hope you enjoyed this video. We know it was long, but there's a lot of stuff involved in this bundle, and we hope you start using it in your Control4 projects. Thanks so much and have a great day.